Today we are going to have our English class for grade 6 with the grammar lesson for week 1. And the topic which we're going to start today is basic punctuation marks. The learning objectives are: use basic punctuation marks in sentences, differentiate between common punctuation marks, demonstrate an understanding of punctuation through correct usage. Now, if we talk about what are punctuation marks, you should be knowing that a punctuation mark is a mark or a sign used in writing to divide text into phrases and sentences. Phrase is a part of a sentence, and sentence gives us a full meaning. Some common punctuation marks are period, full stop, comma, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation mark. Now we will be introduce the punctuation marks. First, we should know that why is the punctuation important. When we speak, we can pause or emphasize certain words and phrases to help people understand what we are saying. If we keep on talking in one tone, we don't pause, we don't stop, the listener would not understand what we are trying to say. Same thing happens in the writing. In our writing, we use punctuation to show pauses and emphasis. Punctuation marks help the reader understand what we mean, same the way we use it in speaking. A punctuation mark is a mark or a sign used in writing to divide text into phrases and sentences and make the meaning clear. Means that sometimes breaking a sentence with these punctuation marks is very necessary. If we don't break a sentence, if we keep on reading it in one tone, the listener will not understand, and the reader will just unable to give his meaning to the listener. In this lesson, we will look at some common punctuation marks and mistakes. You will see examples of what happens if you omit or misuse some common punctuation marks. End punctuations. End punctuations is the most common punctuations in English language, which we use at the end of every sentence to avoid confusion. The three most common ways to end a sentence are period, that is called full stop. The examples are given side by side. The elephant is big, full stop. Another type is question mark. Where is the man? Question mark. Exclamation mark. The huge elephant sat on the man. Oops. And punctuation tells the reader where each sentence ends. It also helps the reader understand the writer's emotions about the subject. For example, an exclamation mark tells the reader that I am excited or yelling. It is so obvious. If I was reading the sentence and at the end of the sentence I said oops. So you can understand what the man who's under the elephant can feel. So for that expression, such expression, we are using exclamation mark. Now here is a paragraph given without punctuation. Do you like to sing My Mom and I Sing in a choir that meets every Tuesday? Last week we sang Christmas Carol at a nursing home. The residents of the nursing home enjoyed our visit. It was fun. Would you like to join us next Tuesday? What is this? Do you understand? I don't think so. You can see it is very difficult to read and make sense of the paragraph. Every sentence runs straight into the next sentence. So there is no pause, no full stop, no exclamation mark. We do not know where to stop. We do not know where to pause. We do not know what expressions are being used. So you should be understanding that for all such necessary actions, we need punctuations in our writing. Now we are going to correct that paragraph. Now again the same paragraph with the punctuation marks. And I'm going to read it again. Do you like to sing? My mom and I sing in a choir that meets every Tuesday. Last week, we sang Christmas carols at a nursing home. The residents of the nursing home enjoyed our visit. It was fun. Would you like to join us next Tuesday? Now you can see that with the use of these three basic punctuations, questions, statements, and exclamation marks, we just able to give some expression to our paragraph. You can see that the writer is excited about singing and enjoying singing for the residents of the nursing home. And his excitement is shown by that exclamation mark. The writer also asks if you like singing and would like to join their choir. The question is very obvious, and when you're having a question mark, while reading your tone is changed as well. So that is why we need these punctuation marks, and they're very necessary. Incorrect use of end punctuation marks. If you're not using it correctly, you will not be able to convey your meaning accurately. So just look at it. Using the wrong end punctuation can cause confusion for the reader. Consider these three sentences. Richard wants to marry Rose. Richard wants to marry Rose. Richard wants to marry Rose. The word of each sentence are same, but the end punctuation greatly changes the meaning. I'm going to read it again. Richard wants to marry Rose. Richard wants to marry Rose. Richard wants to marry Rose. Now Richard wants to marry Rose, full stop. By using a period, a full stop, the writer is simply stating a fact. The writer does not show any feeling about the situation. It's a simple sentence. It's simple, plain sentence. Richard wants to marry Rose. With an exclamation mark, the writer shows emotions about the situation. The writer is probably excited the way I am excited while reading it. Richard wants to marry Rose. By using a question mark, the writer has turned the sentence into a question. The writer seems surprised and is asking for clarification. So, with the help of these punctuations, we are able to convey our message correctly. Now talk about commas. Commas are another very important type of punctuation. Commas tell the reader where to pause. Commas also separate phrases, ideas, and items in a list. Commas help avoid confusion. Using commas in lists. Here is a list without commas. Sally likes to eat chocolate, hot dogs, and broccoli. Without commas, it sounds like Sally likes to eat hot dogs and broccoli covered in chocolate. Yuck! The meaning is totally different. We don't like the meaning. Here is the same list with commas now. Now look, same sentence again with commas. Sally likes to eat chocolate, hot dogs, and broccoli. Now we see that Sally actually likes three foods: chocolate, hot dogs, broccoli. And in first sentence, there is no difference. It seems as if it's one sentence. Commas for phrasing. Here's another funny example. It is time to eat, David. It's time to eat, David. In the first sentence, it sounds like we're going to eat David for lunch. The comma in second sentence shows the writer that we are actually informing David that it is time to eat. You can see the difference very clearly. Now we're going to discuss the quotation marks. Quotation marks are another common punctuation mark in the English language. Quotation marks are used with commas to inform the reader that someone is talking or being quoted. Example, punctuation is important, my teacher said. Without punctuation marks, your writing would be very confusing. Now the important thing which the teacher told to the student is given in the punctuation marks. The dialogues basically are given in the punctuation marks. Without quotation marks and commas, it would be difficult to understand that the character is saying. It would be like this. Punctuation is important, my teacher said. Without punctuation marks, your writing would be very confusing. So there is no emphasis on any part of the sentence. So it is not very understandable. That is why we use punctuation marks and commas to emphasize some certain important parts to convey our clear message. Quotation marks are also very important when you are quoting words someone has already said. Maya Angelou said, comma, quotation marks start. If you don't like something, comma, change it, full stop. If you can't change it, comma, change your attitude, full stop, inverted commas close. Now with these pauses, with the commas, this whole sentence is inside the quotation marks, which is said by Maya Angelou. So Maya Angelou's words are given in inverted commas. It's a quotation from Maya Angelou. Means it is something important. That is why we put it inside the inverted commas. Quotation marks or inverted commas. Maya Angelou is a famous author and poet. When I am quoting her, I show her exact words by enclosing them in quotation marks. By using quotation marks, I am giving her credit for her words. Means quotation marks on inverted commas are given credit and importance to her words. That she has said something very important. Apostrophes. Apostrophes are another commonly misused form of punctuation. Apostrophes are used to show ownership and missing letters in contractions. Misplaced apostrophes can cause confusion for readers. The basic thing which we always, or sometimes you can say you do it incorrect, or might be you never do it incorrect, you're always correct, but still have a look at it. It, comma, s, it's apostrophe s, it apostrophe s equal to is, it is. It's with apostrophe is basically a contraction. Contraction means when we skip a letter, we add apostrophe instead of it. In this contraction, we are skipping I. In place of I, we are adding apostrophe. So that is a contraction, and actual word is it is. Next is its. That is equal to ownership. Means if someone or something is showing some possession, then we use its. It is without apostrophe. Correct. The correct use of these. The dog sleeps in its house. It's dog's house. Dog is the owner of his house. The house belongs to the dog. So we're using its without apostrophe. Incorrect use. The dog sleeps in its house. This means this does not make sense because we would not say the dog sleeps in its house. That is wrong English. Because it with apostrophe is meant it is, not for the ownership. So revise this concept and take few minutes to watch it. and understand it. Repeat this slide once, more than once. Now more examples are given. Boys equal to boys, boy apostrophe s is showing the ownership. Boys without apostrophe s is a plural word. Correct usage is the boy's room is painted blue. The blue room belongs to the boy. If the room belongs to the boy, we use apostrophe s with it. How we use it incorrectly? The boy's room is painted blue. If we are not using apostrophe here with boys, it means we are using it wrong. In this example, we do not know if the room belongs to one boy or more than one boys. So this thing is taken care that if it's one boy's room, then we use apostrophe before s. But if it's is in use of more than one boys, then we use apostrophe after s. In plurals, we use apostrophe for showing possession after s. But in singular, we use apostrophe before s. So the correct use is the boys are sleeping in the tent. The plural boys. The boys, the noun here used is plural. There is more than one boy sleeping in the tent. Incorrect uses the boys are sleeping in the tent. Now are is being used. It means that there are more than one boys who are sleeping in the tent and you're using apostrophe s. That is wrong. The apostrophe is not needed in this sentence because we are not showing ownership. We're talking about some of the action which is being done by the boys. We're not talking about any ownership. A final note about punctuation. There were just a few examples of the importance of using punctuation in our writing. It is important to use punctuation correctly to help the reader understand our writing. Without punctuation, our writing would be a confusing mess. Keep it in your mind while you are doing your work. Do focus on the punctuation marks. Never skip them. At the end of the lesson, I am giving you bibliography, few links. By using these links, you can do these online exercises of punctuation marks and you can assess yourself, you can correct yourself, and you can learn more. Bye for now, students. Thank you.